You were looking at the public one.
No, I don't think so.
Well, when Stephanie comes back.
Last year we had like a
Everybody, it is 7 p.m. Today is Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Any changes to the agenda, Dr. Finch?
No changes?
Okay, communications with response to public comments.
That's a placeholder this evening.
Okay, and oath of office for student representatives.
All right, so we have our new representative for the junior class is Georgia Bonds. We have Katie Champy is returning. And so we'll have both of our students take the oath of office, and I have the script here. So we'll go in the order of the agenda there. So Katie Champy, come on up first. And just say Catherine, is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, here we go. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Catherine Champy,
I, Catherine Champy,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Washington,
and the Constitution of the State of Washington
and the West Valley High School Associated Student Body Constitution.
and the West Valley High School Associated Student Body Constitution.
I will endeavor to promote
I will endeavor to promote
the interests of education
the interests of education
and to represent
the
West Valley student body
the West Valley student body
as I faithfully discharge
as I faithfully discharge
the duties of student representative
the duties of student representative
to the school board
to the school board
of the West Valley School District number 208
of the West Valley High School District number 208
in Yakima County
in Yakima County
in the state of Washington.
in the state of Washington.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This would be a piece of cake. It's exactly the same script. All right, here we go. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Georgia Bonds,
I, Georgia Bonds,
do hereby
do hereby
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
and the Constitution of the State of Washington
and the Constitution of the State of Washington
and the West Valley High School Associated Student Body Constitution.
and the West Valley High School Associate Student Body Constitution.
I will endeavor
I will endeavor
to promote
to promote
the interests of education
the interests of education
and to represent
and to represent
the West Valley student body
the West Valley student body
as I faithfully discharge
as I faithfully discharge
the duties of student representative
the duties of student representative
to the school board
to the school board
of the West Valley School District number 208
of the West Valley School District number 208
in Yakima County
in Yakima County
in the state of Washington.
in the state of Washington.
Congratulations. There you go. Now, we appreciate our student representatives, and they'll be giving a monthly report from the ASB, the Associated Student Body, and also we have them join the audience because sometimes they have homework to do, and sometimes our board meetings go long, so they are able to quietly slip out if needed, rather than having them be up here and say, I have homework to do. So we appreciate you being here this evening, and welcome to the school board. Let's give them a hand, everyone.
I'd like to add an extra congratulations and thank you for being willing to take on this role. It's an important responsibility, so we welcome you and I'm very happy to have you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. He's ready to go.
We're ready to go. These guys did a great job queuing everything up for me.
Yep, so let's go ahead and have the board join the audience so we can watch the presentation, and then we'll have some time for question and answer.
We'll do it afterwards. We have to excuse Mr. Heed.
Oh, yeah.
Can we do that real quick before we actually take a seat?
It should look like this.
I'm sorry. We should have just done that real quick. Can we just do it real quick?
I move to excuse Mr. Heed from tonight's meeting.
Thank you. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Good evening, Jed Waters, Executive Director of Innovation, and one of the programs I oversee is our current technical education. So tonight, our focus will be on kind of review of last year and then some looking forward to things for this year upcoming in career and technical education, or as we'll say in education acronyms, CTE. CTE, or career and technical education, really fits the goal 4 on career pathways. Works out really well with that. So we also master of standards, goal 3 fits in as well, but really CTE is all about building connections in between courses. I think as we go through tonight, one thing I like to say is sometimes I think of CTE or career technical education as a set of classes, but really I think going with goal 4 is it's a vision of how everything connects that we do. So it really puts a purpose behind why am I learning my statistics? Why am I learning my algebra? Why am I learning how to give a presentation speech? Why am I learning this history or geography? All those things fit. So really I see this as career paths. It's really K-12 because that's our goal here in education, is really graduation is not our graduation is not our goal where they just fall off the stage and we did our job. It's really how are they prepared to go in the future to be members in our community, to be employed, to have families that will come back in, all those different things like that. So that's kind of where I see as we talk about career and technical education. Tonight we kind of think more about a subset of class, but no, there's really a higher vision that connects all classes. So even if somebody's not a CT teacher, it's not a CT program, everything we do really as a district should really be fitting into career pathways and getting our students ready for the future, even when starting at first grade. That's why we're teaching how to read and write, is we want you to be prepared for whatever you do in the future. So we're looking at a subset, but kind of go through some basic things. We'll just kind of highlight. I'm not going to read over all of it. Some highlights we had from middle level campus last year is we did a lot of upgrades into some of the CT classrooms, our science ones. They haven't been renovated or upgraded since originally the building, sort of 70s. So we did some things that way to modernize those so the classrooms could be used. This year we got some great feedback from families, just in the look and the feel. And the instructors also said the students came in operating at a higher level, just with newer furniture that wasn't all chipped up, furniture that kind of matched, repainted some walls and some LED lights and some things that way. We've been doing LED lights as a district overall in different phases. We were able to help out with that, and that kind of helped. So those are some things that we're doing just at the mid-level campus to upgrade. We started a sustainable living class last year. That was a hit. We actually for this year broke that up and we took it really into ag ventures class, focused a little more on agriculture, which leads into our high school pathway in agriculture. And then took that into our other class. There was actually a food and nutrition now course for this year. So last year we had great success with sustainable living. They kind of fit in healthy lifestyles and a little bit of agriculture, how we grow our food and then using it. Now we really split those courses apart because we had a lot of interest in our mid-level campus had capacity for another instructor there for those areas. So this year is our first year of running both those. So actually it's interesting now as we kind of get into the next part is for the food and nutrition classroom, we're actually putting back some stuff that 10, 12 years ago was removed in some of those areas as far as some kitchen stuff goes. We updated that. Our instructor, Gretchen Hansen, came to us from Cheese for a long time, then a few years in Yakima School, now back with us. Her husband, Matt Hansen, also teaches down there, so a good team. And just kind of she's been able to bring some stuff to our school there for kind of going on this year. So that was the JRTC now actually has a 3-lane range that they were using last year above. There's an auxiliary room next to the wrestling room, so they've been able to do some stuff there, and that leads as a good pathway right up into our high school with our rifle marksmanship class there. Innovation Center, last we did our robotics agri-science program. That went really well. We did some stuff with hydroponics, and then really getting into kind of the mechanical design. That's area we had Prairie Tech here represented with Casey, but it really leads into a lot of high-tech areas that really pay well. This year we've done some redesigns on that, how it looks. It's kind of joined our STEM program. There's a lot of overlap in some of those skills, and we'll kind of hit that on more of this next year's plan there. Some STEM line upgrades, things like that. We had some apprentices, one at Pexco and one at Van Dorn, so that was great. With our community recognition, we have Dave Graham. He came in just about every week, worked with our welding students in the 10-12 STEM program. He also brought in a lot of different community members that he knew as well. We had a truck with somebody from the Pipe Fitters Union was out there. They were welding that. We had a local orthodontist, which is kind of big. He does laser welding on the side. So it was really neat that we had to set up all these curtains, all the warning signs, and he showed you how they could laser weld and do some things which is high, and they're doing in stainless steel applications. So just some really neat things that, again, a community partner brought in things that we normally couldn't have had in there. So that was neat. We'll talk about kind of the last one with some of our pictures coming up. High school, some things we did is actually GISA worked with us. We've been working with them the past few years to get this rolling. And then over last January, GISA came in and set up a high school credit union here in the high school. So that's been great. Students, we had student workers, and the student worker for that was actually employed with GISA starting last fall. So they get training for about 5 months, and then they could open up the credit union. And we had some other student workers. So that employee was really, GISA runs a lot of it. So hats off to GISA. They've done a really good job of, they take care of all the finance stuff. We just kind of house it, and they do all the stuff, promote with our students. They've been a great partner with our credit union, debit card, stuff like that the school's taking on. So last year was our first year of our construction 101 and 102 class. That really took off. They did some work with Habitat for Humanity. You may have seen that. Well, actually, KMA did an article on that. It's really, that was just the first year of the program. Stephen Matzite did a great job. This year we actually have more sections that we could fill, so actually he could teach. So we had somebody else come in and teach one of those. Keegan Powers, one of our science teachers, he also has a CT endorsement. He's teaching one of those this year just because construction's really taken off. So they've done a great job with that. Some really cool projects. Again, lots of different things between Jarrett to C, financial algebra class, some reality fair stuff, DECA, FBA. So again, just lots of great things happening at the high school. And district-wide overall, we had a number of students last year attend the Pathway to the Top. It's a Career and College Expo held at the Sundome. And again, we had students tour Job Corps, local businesses, HLA engineering, a number of different colleges and tours like that. So a lot of great things happening last year in the district. Here's one of the big things, just kind of reporting on our Career Prep and Launch grant. And that's a 2-year grant. So every other year the state awards this grant, and then you have 2 years really to spend the money. It's really supposed to be used for equipment. 4 years ago, we received the grant. That's where we got some of our robotic stuff for the Innovation Center. This year, the last 2 years, we've been working on getting everything for the Cub Crackers kit plan that you see up there. We got some amateur trainers. So the trainer on the bottom left there working on hydraulics, mechanical systems, fits right into the aviation part and really making the plane fly and all the thrust part of it. We got some of those trainers. Actually, we got some surplus from another district, and then we were able to buy some of the parts that we need to upgrade it because they're missing some parts. And then we have 5 flight simulators that look like that one. It's a TD2 with Redbirds. The airport downtown has that one, except it has 5 screens. We're looking at with some grant funding this year to purchase a 3-screen one, just so you kind of get a little more wraparound to it. But those are working out great, and they're just starting to get those going in the classrooms right now. So this was a great partnership. Again, this is a kind of community partnership. We didn't get it the kit donated to us from Cub Crafters, but we were able to use the grant funds and partner with them. They've been able to work with us on training for instructors, having people come over. And actually, I was giving a tour to a Innovation Center student who was looking at coming in. Actually, as we were talking, we kind of talked about that. As they looked at each other like, oh, what's going on? He's like, oh, I'm a machinist for Cub Crafters. So it's all those connections that then we can build in, so we can have some of these families come back in. They can help teach our students some of the stuff, so they can take pride in showing students what they do as a job, and then marketing their job and upskilling our students. Great innovators there. So some initiatives looking at for the next year is really continuing the mid-level campus for the past few years have been using master-based learning. Last year is really our first year jumping in. So really working on the CT standards that we need to. So business and industry standards, along with like next gen science standards, incorporating those in. Their first year of food nutrition. We got the ag ventures. They're working on outdoor gardens. If you go to the junior high in between the art room and the gym, you'll see a little fenced off area. It's got a fence about 3.5 feet tall. They're going to be planting a garden in there in the spring. So that's our construction engineering technology class at the junior high. They'll be working to build some of the raised bed planters, and then the ag ventures class will be growing some stuff in that. So a great partnership between classes. And then continuing to work on, we have a 6th grade STEM program. So continuing to work between the 6th grade STEM and then our elementary STEAM programs. It's our high school science. This is our first year of the whole school year of the GISA credit union. So getting one of the financial literacy standards to students, helping all of our students, even if they're not in our financial literacy class or financial algebra class, to really become more financially aware. Utilize a PACE lab. So this is one of some of our special education programs. We moved that lab to the Innovation Center to have more room and capacity for that lab. It's going to work out well too, because it's going to kind of take the students that are here at the high school, and then they can almost feel like they're going to a job site to learn those job skills and then come back over here. So it's allowed some more room that we didn't have before, but it kind of takes it a little bit away from location. So we think it's going to be a win-win this year for that. And that's actually right across from our special education department office, so they can go in and see that in operation a little bit more. High school, we also started a food and nutrition course here at the high school. So again, our goal is to build pathways, so we don't have a bunch of disjointed classes at the high school. Then we have a food nutrition science class. Keely Teskey is teaching that one for us. So she's all excited, been doing lots of stuff to there, and that's been a desire just in the healthy cooking, healthy eating. Our goal is, I say less Thanksgiving meal preparation and more health, wellness, things that teenagers, young adults are going to need to know as they go out. So we're looking at, some hot plates, air fryers, blenders, things like that, where they can make meals that you can do more in a class period of time versus something that's big. Not that we won't learn some formal meals, but more of the more efficient meal, or more what they're going to use for meals. And then also the business side of it too. So if we talk about a food truck, well, what could be the theme of your food truck? And then making the food for the food truck, thinking about the dietary needs, everything that way. And then the marketing, advertising side. So trying to wrap it more than just, we made a grilled cheese sandwich just to make a grilled cheese sandwich. What are the standards in behind that? I think that's part as I kind of brush over in CT, but that's, I think, the part is really about why are we learning this? So as we talk back to it, and we talk about teacher clarity in the districts, we've really been working a lot with our staff and through all the buildings is, why are we learning this? If students don't know why they're learning something, well, then there's no reason to be learning it. You're just like, well, why should I learn this? If we can back it up with the reason, we're learning this food prep for healthy lifestyle, or, hey, this is a pathway to a career. All these different things like that, then it starts building more relevance. Increased dual credit, dual enrollment, ministry certifications, and other items like that. Innovation Center, some of our updates for that, we've redone Course Master there, so to make our Innovation Center courses align to what you might see on a high school transcript, also kind of align with as students move back and forth. That way, we've gone from a trimester model to a semester model to be more aligned with the district, some things that way. So first year of our STEM aerospace programs, we had a STEM program before. It was really machining, welding. We also had that ag robotics program. We really kind of combined those. Then we've combined the classes. We brought Greg Bottom, who was instructor here for the last 4 years. He is now one class here, and the rest of high school are at the IC. He's got a background in our Air Force and other things like that, so he fits right in. Doug Terrell's our other teacher there. So it actually works out well because they can team teach. Sometimes in CT, you're a lone wolf. You're just on your own doing it. But having somebody to teach alongside and share ideas with, it's valuable. So they've been able to do that. So they're starting our STEM aerospace program, increasing your connections, and then co-teach. Really at the Innovation Center, it's co-teaching collaboration with the designers to build in that relevance. So that's one of our areas we're stressing. Really just education in general, but also under the CT umbrella. Some district initiatives. I'm working a lot with our teachers on a safety plan, so documenting all of our safety as students have safety tests, keeping those in our records for years to come. Getting a lot of documentation that way, and it's been good to see in a lot of classes they're really stressing safety. I was just around with the Innovation Center today, and I think 3 of the 4 classes of 7th through 9th graders were doing safety. It was neat because they were working on their ELA standards as well. So as they're doing safety, it wasn't just I'm learning safety. They were putting together I'm going to show you the CER. I'm trying to think what all the acronym was, but it's really standards you'd be learning in English class, but now they're relating to standards. So instead of saying, well, just watch out for chords, then we move on. The students were thinking about what was the caution they need to, what might happen of it, and then what's the response to that, how do they fix and mitigate that? So then they're starting to do presentations, documentations. So it's neat to see the English language arts terminology and standards incorporated into a safety lesson that way. So that was one of the neat things there. Let's see, we promote, again, as district-wise, we're trying to promote non-traditional opportunities. There's more things. Job Corps is a big hit. We're taking a lot of our students, lots of great opportunities for them after they graduate, if that's a pathway, increasing our data, and then career pathways, again, through school links, which I'm going to highlight here in a minute, and then some of our CTSOs. So I was told to make it all short, so I usually talk fast, but I was told to make it go fast. So we can
Those are the acronyms. What's CTSO?
CTSO is a Career and Technical Student Organizations. That'd be like your FFA, DECA, OSA, and other things like that. So we're trying to increase opportunities for students outside the classroom is what it comes to. Some of them are actually like your more well-known ones, so DECA or FFA, and some are just at the middle school. We have a STEM club, or we have a science club, or other things like that they can work in. The Innovation Center, we have NESB, which is really working with robotics and aerospace, and working with Central on some ideas like that, and some competitions, or just some student engagement. There's a rocket club that's going to come down almost monthly now to work with that group down at the Innovation Center from Central. So school links, I'll kind of give you a little background on this. We'll kind of highlight this as a little part of our program is high school and beyond plan. Every graduate in Washington State needs to have completed or check kind of a box of they complete a high school and beyond plan. Really what that's saying is we don't want you to get to graduation. You go, I took all these classes, but I really don't know why I'm here. I just was going towards graduation. Now I graduate and I'm done, but it didn't make sense. The high school and beyond plan, the goal is starting really in like mid-level campus or even earlier, you start looking at who am I as a learner? What things am I interested in? What things might I be good at? What might I excel at? And what might I struggle in? And then how might that fit into things that might be a future for a career or learning, different things like that. And once you kind of figure out careers, what's some of the post-secondary opportunities? Can I go right into that? Do I need to go to Perry Tech or technical college? Do I need to go to 2-year college or 4-year college. So that's really goal, is to get students thinking about that throughout their whole career and building connections versus just senior year, now it's all thrown at you and all those things. So that's kind of, so we'll kind of go through just a few things. It's a little hard to see in this one, but in our board packet, you were able to see it. So on the screen right now is students go to a main screen, and this is grades 6 through 12 are working in this program. So we've done trainings for staff at the high school and the Innovation Center. Tomorrow morning is training for mid-level campus staff. We just hired on.
Is this new this year?
This is new this year, yep. And the reason we switched, we had Zella was another program before. The states actually look to adopt a statewide program for high school and beyond. The nice part about that is if a student moves between schools, that's transferable. Also, they can take this with you after they graduate. Typically in the past was once you graduated, the program was done, you had to download whatever you had. Their goal is to make this where it goes with you. The state's also investing in a lot of training for teachers and then building some other stuff where they can feed statewide data into the system. They weren't doing that before if it was an independent system the schools were contracting with. So we had to pay Zella to do this. Right now, the state's providing this free. Again, there's been some budget things with the state, but right now they're providing it for free. So it's nice where there's a lot of data that comes in. So to go through some of the highlights, we'll see why a state plan is really nice. And also regionally, we have ESD 105. They can do some trainings and they can offer some supports with this because they're, working with the state on it. So it gives us a nice statewide approach versus every district or every region doing their own things and us having a feed locked into it. So we'll kind of go over some of the features in it. So, so our students in grades 6 through 12 right now will begin working on this year. If they're a senior and they're already in some stuff in the other programs, there's some things that they need to meet for the high school and beyond plan. They'll be able to work on those this year. So although some of the stuff they've done for 3 years, it helps build them up to where they're at. They'll be doing some more activities in this one, so you can check off that towards high school. Because every student before they graduate, to get their diploma, will need to check off a box that says they do this. But ideally, we want it to be more than just checking a box. We want it really to be an immersive thing that drives what they're learning and why. So this first one, if we look there, it's really just they're talking about find your path. What would you rather do? What are your top skills? What's your social emotional learning? Your learning style, student focus, and lifestyle. So those are those boxes if you can't read them there. So students will go through the first time they log in, take some different interest inventory quizzes. That'll help to identify what type of learner they're and what careers they might be interested in. This is something ideally they take either every year or every few years, because if you're a 6th grader, by the time you get to 11th grade, your interests may have changed. Common for our 6th and 7th grade classes here is professional sports athlete, social media influencer, and those are probably the top few by quite a ways. And then we get into some other careers. A lot of the careers are things that the doctor, the dentist, the teacher, the things that everybody knows. So I think some of this program is nice is it starts to introduce them some other careers that might be related to something, but it's not, because not everybody in this room, we have a lawyer and we have teachers in here, but there's a lot of careers that other people have that aren't common that students don't think or they haven't been aware. So that's part of the brilliance of this program. And as we start to maybe work into it earlier, and we have elementaries here, is how do we get students to think about all those different opportunities? The earlier we can introduce it, the better, because then the world's still wide open. When you start to get into middle level and high school, either teachers, somebody's made a comment to you, something else, all of a sudden you're like in a track. So how do we keep that open, let the students choose the track? I know I had my grandpa one time was like, oh, I was in outdoors and landscape. He's like, well, the landscapers don't make any money. So you want to, well, I could have been a really good landscaper, but I don't know, because he just shut the door on that. So I was like, oh, I'm never going to do it again, even though money wasn't the driving factor. There was just, he was like, no, that's not a good job. So I think the more we can get students interested in different things, see what they are, test them out, learn about them, and now it's easier than when they get later and go, oh, I've invested so far, nope, this wasn't what I wanted. So some things that way. So there's that part. Other things they can do, again, there's looking at top career goals, they're looking at different careers. This will pull in Washington State data. They could also segregate it down to Yakima County data, Kittitas County, start to say, if I don't want to leave the Yakima Valley, what are the career choices for me related to what I want? A lot of our students want to stay here. The west side looks scary. Well, if we just give them employment data that's Washington State, you're seeing the price of jobs and other things like that on the pay on the west side. You're like, whoa, that's pretty good. It's different over here. So it helps if a student wants to stay here. Well, if I'm in a position here versus somebody in a position on the west side, there might be different. So it's good to have students kind of see that local data on the careers. They look then at education. So start looking at, this is jobs. You can look anywhere in the country. They'll also be able to look at, hey, if I found the job I want, where do I need to go to school? Do I need to school for that? And they can take virtual tours of different universities. Perry Tech's in there. There's a lot of different ones. So they can go through, here's some of the university part there. So they can see a map, see how far they are. Sometimes you hear about these schools, Yeah, they come visit the campus here and they talk for a lunch period. They come and you get the flyer and they just realize like, oh, I don't want to live in that city, but that's where it's at. So I think that's kind of neat to be able to see the map, take some virtual tours, and really realize what the campus is all about and what programs they offer there. We have some students that say, I want to go to this college. They have no idea why they want to go to college. It's just like, hey, I love Gonzaga. That's a school I want to go to. I want to go to a basketball game, so that's where I want to go. And they felt like, oh, they don't have my major there. They don't have anything that I want to do. And that's good conversations you can have either Ramstrong with your teacher, families, their counselor, to have some of those before you go to Gonzaga and you realize like, oh, there's nothing that I want to tour. It's just I want to go for basketball or watch games.
Gonzaga does have a lot of good things.
Yeah. No,
I was just gonna say Gonzaga's the greatest.
No, it's all good. Many of our colleges don't have all the programs. So you go to some of those kids like, oh, I thought they had this. And then we have that conversation like, no, really, you should go over here if you want to go to that one. So let's see. So here just is some stuff, local jobs. So actually, this is one, if you're interested in a job, here they have, see, this is actually talking about apprenticeships in the area. So some of these might be apprenticeships they can do in high school. A lot of these are apprenticeships right out of school. So this one has a sprinkler fitter right there, and a general electrician. Those are two apprenticeships in the Yakima Valley. So the neat part about this program that we didn't have with the other ones is this has got connections to Indeed and other local employment agencies that can put information in on here. As we start to work as a school, we identify some local employers. As people give us jobs, and typically we'll have people call, be like, hey, I'm looking for a high school student. We have Walmart hires a ton of students. They're right here in our community. We can get their information up here. So students looking for a job. I have a number of students that work at Walmart, great place for them to work, flexibility hours, everything. It'd be great if we can have this here. So our students that are looking for jobs in our area in West Valley can go right to this and find those versus, well, I'm either going on Indeed or I'm trying to find this website or I'm going door to door or how do I do this? We can have links to local employers right here that want to partner with us. So that's, I think, a neat part on the employers. They can see regional, state, but then also things down to Yakima. And then some of the other neat things is we start to look at like, if there's a summer camp, we can promote that through here. If we take a tour to Eastern, Central, or Gonzaga, whatever it might be, if we take a tour, we can do that sign up right through here. Before we had to do a Google Classroom list, send out the link, do all stuff, we can do everything from here. And we also can find out if we have last year we had a surveyor come and do a presentation here kind of in the Commons. Well, we can use this to filter and figure out what students might be interested in surveying, and then we can direct message them. So we can get them to the speakers. So we can get the students the things that they need that fit what they want versus just a general announcement. Sometimes we can do those. Well, if I'm in math class, I don't want to be in math class. All of a sudden, I'm going to this thing even if I'm not interested, just because I want to go to class. So it allows us to start to really get some good data and connect to our students, really provide some great opportunities for our students there. So a few highlights, a lot more things we can go through in schoolings, but this is a neat program we'll be working on. My goal in talking to the teachers here at the high school and the Innovation Center during our in-service time at the Middle campus tomorrow is this shouldn't just be we do this in advisory and we check off a box to say we did it. So typically that's what this kind of done like a Ramstar advisory. I said, if I'm in a physics class, I should be taking my physics students and we should be doing a career, looking at what careers actually use physics. Because if I'm trying to have my students find value in physics class, I'm like, why are we doing this? I should be able to go in here, help them find careers to say, oh, this is where the things we're learning are going on. If I'm in an ELA class, I can pull up so many careers where writing is important. Think about, police officer now. Well, there's a ton of documentation. Healthcare industry, you need to document everything. Pharmacy, so there's a ton of different careers that have a lot of documentation writing that they may not think of writing ELA skills connect to. So I think that's one of the gems is there's a lot of stuff in here that every teacher can use. So whether you're band, choir, whatever it might be, you can use this program. So that shouldn't be just a standalone. We do it and then everybody just doesn't check the box, but doesn't find a value. So as we build it more over the next year to 2 years, there should be a lot of value and this should be incorporated into all classrooms. Everybody has access. It's kind of just a few plugs in schooling.
Last slide, right?
Yep, that's the last slide.
We'll have the board come back and then we can do some question and answer. Well, first of all, thanks, Jed, for your leadership and really appreciate the year in review and then looking forward to this school year. It's a nice way to start off the school year. Our first program for the 25-26 school year and all about all the great things happening in our district and what we're going to look forward to in the future. So thank you, Jed.
No problem. I get started, then end it with the innovation center. Maybe go throw ELA or ALE in the middle somewhere.
Okay. Any questions for Jed?
I just have a one comment and then a question on the last slide. So I didn't know, you educated me, I didn't know that there was such a thing as Northwest School of Wooden Boat Building.
Yeah, I always saw that.
It's like an actual thing. So that's interesting. Secondly, on the last slide, with like these various jobs and what you're talking about in terms of getting the students matched up with jobs, how does the data get in here? Who's inputting that?
I think we can import some local things we want to, we'll have access, but a lot of it is the state with some of the people that are running School Links is then incorporating. So School Links is a national company, so they're looking at whether it be work with like local career centers, Indeed, so they have some filters they're running through scanning the internet, pull in a bunch of jobs are in there, and we can also import jobs to put as local ones as well.
Okay, because I was just trying to think, like, how would a local business communicate with the West Valley School District that this is a place that they should be on?
Mm-hmm. So that'll be we had a change. We had Jessie Elm as our career and college pathway specialist. She did a great job. She was looking to more do some individual counseling, and in the role, it's sometimes a little less individual. It's more, process wise. So we just hired her. She started on Monday. Black Ramos, so she'll be in her new career pathway. We moved up to coordinator level, so she'll be helping get this to schools, but then she'll be reaching out to local employers, ideally working with like chamber, South Central Workforce, getting this information out there so then they can get it. The nice thing is too, is because it's regional, if Yakima School District is working with local employers to get on there, we can get into that too. So it doesn't have to be just us and jobs at the 48th Avenue. It then can be everybody.
Right. It seems like it'd be something that the General Advisory Council that we do on a regional basis in the Yakima Valley, that they would be able to link into it, right?
Yep. So that's something through goals as we meet with that way. That's what I love is it's a regional partnership. We have a strong regional partnership in CT anyway. So it saves us from having to do all lifting. Everybody's lifting a little bit together.
Thank you.
More questions?
Just want to say thank you for the presentation. I love the way you integrate the different courses with other courses, and I think that's just really good. And I love the question, why are we learning what we're learning? I mean, I've heard you say that before, so appreciate that. I have a question that you didn't even talk about, but I saw in the notes.
Okay.
Is how do you put together advisory committees, and how many do you have? And just tell me just a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's good. So that's regionally we have actually we just changed. I'm trying to think what the name, because up until this year, it was, let's say there was some local advisory. So it might be really as a district, our sports med, or as a region, sports medicine, FFA, or agriculture teachers, they have some really strong advisories. Some of the other areas, we maybe don't have that strong. We've used a lot of a regional approach. So as a region, us, Yakima, Sela, and Toppenish were kind of some of the school district leads to bring in all the regional schools to 2 or 3 meetings throughout the year. And at that, we'd also invite business. We'd bring in all the teachers. It's nice too to bring in the businesses. And then also nice to bring in teachers, because a lot of the teachers, if I'm here and I'm an agriculture teacher, well, I'm the only one. Now, if I go to and see, there's 10 other agriculture teachers, we all can start to co-plan, work together, build some network in that way.
There's also higher ed at the table, and then workforce development and economic development. It's all working together as a region.
Yep. So we kind of have a theme usually with each meeting. That worked out well. It was going really well. COVID started to come back well. One of the challenges with that regionally is if myself and my counterparts, Bonnie Smith at Yakima, who runs YB Tech and their CT department, Jeff Cochran at Sela, and then Monica Sullivan at Toppenish, we all have full-time jobs, so sometimes it's hard to do all this regional work. So ESD 105 over the summer then hired Jeff Cochran from Sela to help lead some of the regional work, which has been great. We've been working with them as they crafted the job, just because we don't have the capacity to do all the things we'd like to do as a region to get school links, everything else to bring on those employers. So it's gonna be nice. We can partner with ESD 105, but they can help set up some agenda and really provide more supports for our teachers. And that role is really set up to support the work that we've already started with that regional advisory, and then to even add to it. So I think we're gonna see some good growth over the next year or two in that part. So it's really bringing services to the districts and our teachers together.
And the advisories are based on career pathways, right?
Yep.
So how many do we have?
We have typically the OSPI, it kind of varies, but we have typically the OSPI is kind of like, you have agriculture, health science, business and marketing. Business marketing gets big, so sometimes we like computer science group because they're a little bit different than maybe a business teacher or financial algebra teacher. Health teachers kind of have their own group as well too, because a lot of them teach similar content in there. We also have skilled and technical sciences, which really create everything from like some ceramics and art applications to welding to construction. So there's some smaller subsets in that. And then family consumer education is the last one. There's kind of education subset, and then more traditional family consumer education would be your health, nutrition, things like that. So yeah, we have a lot of really strong regional work. I think over the next few years, we're going to see it growing because that's one of the areas ESD is really seen by some of us that have really worked with them on building that up. So I think we'll see some good things coming that's really going to support our district here, our students here, but then also the whole region as a whole, which it does help to have a regional one because then it's not us, our teachers, trying to invite the same business that's going to a Nat Cheese one or to a Highland advisory meeting. And they're like, oh, it's 3 nights out of this week. Everybody put their advisory meetings at the same time. And there's some state paperwork and stuff we need to do. So ideally, if we work together, it helps build us all up and make us stronger.
The CTSO clubs, you talked about trying to get some more interest in that. And I'll just say from my youngest is in middle school now, and my wife got up at like 1:30 in the morning to sign her up.
Okay.
Because our previous child couldn't get in because it maxed out pretty quick. And then I heard there's a couple other parents. So I'd say there's good interest. But I had a couple questions about one, when is the College and Career Expo? And then also the GISA branch.
Yep.
Is that essentially just to help kids open up their own bank accounts? What's happening at the GISA branch?
Yeah, well, let's see. So, all right, let's go. What your first? I'm trying to think the first question because
what are the dates when
the dates? Yep. I'm hoping there's going to be a Career College Pathway Expo. I'm still waiting to hear from ESD 105. They haven't set that up. They've gone through some restructuring the past year. It was great. I think some of the things they had to put up like $15,000 to rent the Sun Dome and some other things. So if they don't have it right now, they'll be working on some other options. There are really with South Central Workforce, they have a bunch of employment conferences or workshops. So we'll hopefully send some staff as they start doing some jobs, or send staff and students to those. So I don't have a date on it. Typically it was 2 weeks after the fair. I think they might have moved it back if they're going to do it because they found out last year ESD was heavily involved in the fair too. So they go from the fair to another big event. So we'll be doing that. If not, we'll be doing some smaller things here. So we'll kind of see where they go on that way. And then going back to your second, the GISA part. Yep. So GISA it's a branch kind of right across from our counseling office. There used to actually be an ASB window, or kind of a sales window that's right across it, kind of on the way to the auditorium. Could have been a ticket window in the original plans. So that opens up. That's all run by GISA. I'm trying to think of all your questions there. So it's working out well, but the goal of it is really to get students starting to manage money, starting to think about that and their own money versus I'm going to my parents all the time. So there's no credit card. So it's a bank account. They have to have the money in the bank. They can deposit money here at school, and then they can withdraw money here at school. And typically we'll do promotions where if they do 6 deposits or withdraw, even if it's the same $5 back and forth, then GISA, because they're a credit union, they have funds they need to use for things like that, they would put $100 into their account for them. So they can either open a checking or a savings account that way. They do it there's Ike, there's a number of different regional schools between here, Tri-Cities, that they have it really throughout the state. They work in this. They have a good network, a good process to all of it. And then our worker there, then when they need to, GISA will come and get the money. So we have a small safe that can collect up to such amount of money, and then the rest of it, then they come, they do all the transactions that way. So we have one worker that's handling the money, but we're not worried about making deposits, sending a kid with a money bag to the bank, anything like that. It's all in a secure network too. So really it's outside of our network. GISA then takes care of everything. And that student, again, has been trained for 6 months. So it's really a GISA employee that's working here, but it's one of our students. And then a lot of times after school, they'll go work 3-4 days a week at GISA after their school day ends, and then they're getting paid for that time. Cool. And then we do lots of other events. And the nice thing is it ties into our Tina Martinez's business and marketing class, Jamie Zeller's financial algebra class. So there's a lot of co-planning things they can do. And I think as we keep it going, there'll be even more stuff we can do to help our students, because financial literacy is now a big push from the state, which it should be, because I have a teenager and a 19-year-old and 22. I want them to be financially, independent things. They're now at that point where they're starting to think about those things that sometimes they didn't. My son now is like, McDonald's costs that much. I didn't know that. I was like, yep, every time you wanted to go and I didn't get anything, you got something. That's why. So now as he's buying his own stuff,
It's a great moment for you as a dad.
Yeah. And so I think just getting the students to think about money is great.
Yeah. All right, thank you for coming. I don't have a question per se, because they've had some good questions already, but just a comment. I really like how the program itself is sort of tailored and fits into the workforce we find in our own community. These are things that the kids see every day, have experienced as they were growing up, maybe within their own families, and now to get a chance to actually put their hands on the type of work that potentially their parents either did or they may be doing. I just think is a wonderful approach to education. So I really like what's going on over there. Keep it up. It's just fantastic. It's a bright spot in our community and our school district. So thank you.
Yeah, well, I think all of our buildings, we got great opportunities in each one. I think that's the neat thing here is there's things, IC can offer things, the high school can offer things, mid-level campus. And our goal is, and as we work through the programs, is that there's not really much competition. It's all supporting each other for different pathways students want to take, and then with our instructors supporting each other. So I think we've done a great job. And as you saw on the actual board, more of the strategic plan was more of those pathways. So kind of went through some of those. So there's a lot of plan that goes on to it. And we need to tie those in. It's one of the state requirements. We need to tie it to our local connections. We can't be offering things that aren't offered in our area. So we need to tie it into, is there opportunities for students in the Yakima Valley, or at least in our region, then we're good.
All right.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, next we go to the public comment of agenda items. And again, I'll read the disclaimer here, but everyone should know it at this point. Members of the public who would like to provide public comments will sign in. Speakers will be called in the order they signed in to speak. Speakers will be given 3 minutes for their comments. Public comment is not the proper forum to address concerns about a specific staff member. If a person has a concern about a specific staff member, they should make an appointment with the superintendent to address their concerns. So first on the list, Carol Blevins.
Like there's no mic. Well, I know I've been, talking about this and kind of citing some other states and whatever that have had prayer at public meetings. So, but today, I guess tonight I would ask that I would like to get a little more clarity on the subject of prayer at this school board meeting in Washington State. I would like to ask directly if I can use my First Amendment rights of speech during my public comment time to pray the Lord's Prayer. What I understand from the First Amendment is that I can speak as long as I'm not speaking obscenities or inciting violence. That it is not against the law. So if it is against the rules at West Valley School to not pray during public comment time, could I please, out loud have the, next time maybe the regulation that says that we can't do that and have it read out loud so I can understand why we can't do that. And the other thing is, just a little side note that yesterday, the president said that soon the Department of Education will be issuing new guidelines for protecting prayer in our public schools. Nice. So that's all I got tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. I don't see anyone else on the list. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to say anything at this point? All right, if not, public comment period is closed. We will go on to item 9 on the agenda, action items. There are a number of items there. Take a quick look again. We can go through them individually or we can take them together, I suppose. We should probably take them together. Apart.
Yeah, it's not consent agenda.
Yeah. All right. So anybody would like to make a motion on the approval of the minutes from the last board meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last board meeting.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes from the August 26, 2025 board meeting. We'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
4-0.
4-0, I'm sorry. Missing one person. Next, item B, approval of travel request. As you can see, there's a junior high CTE Glendale Observatory Night Sky Program and Goldendale, I'm sorry, not Glendale, Goldendale.
Mhm.
So if anyone has any comment or any question they would like to ask about that, otherwise I'll entertain a motion to approve the travel request that's presented there.
I'll move to approve the travel request as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Torrance. So we have a motion to approve the travel request for the Junior High CTE Goldendale Observatory Night Sky Program. We'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Next, we have approval of resolution. We have two there. First is the approval of the defeasance 2019 bonds. Hopefully, we've talked about this quite a bit, and there are no further questions, but if there are, this is a point to bring it up. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and I'll entertain a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to approve 2609-780.
All right, thank you. Excuse me, Mr. Walcott. We have a motion to approve the approval of the defeasance of the 2019 bonds. We'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. There's also the next one, Career Technical Educational Program. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve 2609-781.
Thank you. Excuse me. We'll go ahead and vote. We have a motion to approve that. We'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Next, we have approval of the 2025-2026 TVIP instructional plan. I think that's,
Transitional bilingual
yeah,
instructional
it's in your
plan.
packet there to look at. Do you want to add anything to that, Dr. Finch?
No, there's a cover memo there and it included the plan. So that's our plan for the 25-26 school year.
All right, if there's no plans or further discussion on that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2025-2026 TVIP instructional plan.
So moved.
Thank you. We have a motion, so we will go ahead and vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Next, we come to items arising. Anyone? Item 10 on the agenda? Nothing? Okay. Then we will move on to item 11, Superintendent's Report, which is also in the packet. Hopefully everyone had a chance to review that. Any further comments, Dr. Finch, or any comments from anyone?
Oh, I just shared our new certificated staff who are new to the West Valley School District. We actually had two of our elementary schools, Autumn Valley and Cottonwood, did not have any new certificated staff who are new to the school district. And at the middle of the campus, our middle school did not have any new certificated staff who are new to the school district. All the other buildings, the staff are listed there. And so we welcome them all to the West Valley family and look forward to a great school year.
Thank you, Dr. Finch. All right. Next, we go on to item 12, board reports, board developments. Anyone?
I just say, going back, I think, I appreciate everybody on the board, just the conversations that we had around the defeasement. And I thought it was one of the best conversations we've had, and I enjoyed working and going back and forth. And so I just say thank you guys for that and good work.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right, thank you for that. Item 13 is adjournment. We'll go ahead and adjourn tonight's meetings. Today is, again, September 9th, Tuesday, and we adjourn at 7:49 p.m. Thank you, everyone, for attending tonight's meeting.
All right, please sign the resolution.
Don't leave.